Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Fate Unlimited Blade Works. We're on episode 12 of season 2. This is probably what I would call like the original, almost finale. Because seeing as the episode after this is called Epilogue, I'm guessing that's sort of like an extra just to, you know, just to show you what happens after this, the end of the war, I'm guessing, right? So, but it doesn't matter, we're watching them both anyway, so whatever. This episode's titled Unlimited Blade Works. Like episode 8 is, I think. It's one of those episodes. There's another episode that's called Unlimited Blade Works. So there's two. You know what I mean? And there's two episodes that's like the answer. So yeah, I guess we're just copying shit. I guess because there's two Shiros, we'll just allow it anyway. Because I'm guessing the first Unlimited Blade Works was revolving around Archer, and this one's with actually Shiro. I did say at the end of the last episode that, like, you know, he's going to have to bring out Unlimited Blade Works at some point. He didn't do it at the end of the last episode when I thought he was going to, but he didn't. So I'm guessing it's going to be this one. I mean, I'd be surprised, considering... I mean, I know what an epilogue means, so I'm guessing, like, the whole war is, like, it's going to come to an end in this episode. What's going to happen? Don't know. So yeah, Grail has started leaking already. That started leaking last episode, so that's already on its way. Assassin was alive. He was still just hanging about there because he is anchored to Ryoto Temple, or at least the entrance to it anyway. Like, that's where he was getting his mana that he was, you know, he was being fed mana from that place, that had already been stored up there, even though Caster was long gone. But it didn't matter because in the end, Saber took care of him. So yeah, there was that. Gilgamesh and Shiro were going at it. Gilgamesh wasn't taking Shiro seriously, which I think at the end is going to be his downfall. We'll see how that plans out, though. Rin grabbed Shinji out of that fucking horrible amalgamation of cursedness. I don't know what the fuck it is. What would you refer to that as? Because it's not the Grail, right? I don't know. But this is the thing, right? And I don't know why I didn't even talk about this last episode. I'm so surprised Rin managed to get out Shinji, like, as Shinji was before he was even implanted with it. Because Gilgamesh literally implanted that core, like, hardcore thing or whatever into Shinji, right? Like, and I saw, like, you can see him, like, expanding and fucking him up, you know what I mean? So I don't know how he was, like, how he is fine now. I mean, that's physically, that's body-wise. I don't know what his mind's going to be like. He might be fucked up in that regard. But I'm just surprised, because, like, even Shinji and stuff like that, like, while it was happening, was saying that, oh, it hurts and stuff, you know? But he seems fine. But once Rin took him out of there anyway, it was trying to grab Shinji back, but, you know, Rin got out of there. And then eventually it actually started going after Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh took out his, took out Ea, that fucking, like, that god fucking, like, lance thing, and destroyed the thing. Or at least, like one of the hands that was reaching out anyway. During this whole thing, Shiro was copying all the weapons that Gilgamesh was bringing out from Gates of Babylon. He tried doing it with Ea, but wasn't able to because he can't comprehend the weapon itself. It's like, it's a weapon made by the gods, someone clarified for me. And it's out of this world, and Shiro needs to be able to comprehend what it's made out of in order to copy it, and he couldn't do that. So yeah. Alright, well, that's it. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, so we're just going to get into this episode and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay. Episode 12. Christ. Fuck. That was nuts. That was really fucking nuts. Like, seeing Gilgamesh, like, in that state is so weird to me. It's so weird. I'm just so used to having Gilgamesh being so in control of everything. Like, that nobody has a chance against him. And then seeing, like, this, like, oh my god. That honestly, like, oh, I don't know why I got chills when like we got right because apparently the right we'll call it the malformed fucking abomination because that's what Gilgamesh calls it, right? And otherwise I don't know what else to call it. I don't really I can't call it the Grail for some reason because it just doesn't fit with that for some reason. I don't know why, but like so it was what it was. There's a lot of things. Either way, right? He was trying to swallow him up, right? And I love the fact that like he couldn't like he was like he had no intention of fucking going in it. I love the fact that he used the chain of heaven to fucking grab a hold of Shiro. That's so great. I love that. I don't know why I got chills when he did it. I was so fucking what? I was nuts. Alright, well, let's talk about that then. So, fuck. There's so much like. I feel like there are details that I must be missing, like that are in the other stories, right? Either in Heaven's Feel or in Stay Night, right? There has to be because I feel like I've missed a whole. The whole deal of what this fucking like this abomination is. Because it's so strange to me, like how it's so just like I went by what it was in Irisville, right, in Zero, but my only, I'm guessing it was normal for Irisville because it had time to sort of mature and like I guess become it like the Grail itself, or like you know the present itself as such. Whereas the one that he took out of Elia wasn't, so it was just a fucking thing that still needed like. It needed a source, like it needed a host in order to form, right? But I'm guessing because it was put into someone else that it yeah, like it became an abomination because it wasn't. I don't know. It was a mixture of two different hosts. I don't know. Like, and then, well, this thing, right? This is what really confuses me. So. It was referred to twice as being a servant. Like, the abomination. I don't understand. I don't understand. So, when Saber, right, went to Rin, right? And, she went to step in the goop to go get Rin or whatever, and Rin said, don't. She said it's the muck is somewhat similar to a servant, so she didn't know like how it would affect her. And then when that hole like that was left open by the curse, whatever, was swallowing Gilgamesh, right? He said, don't you know, like, you know what I mean, you can't, like, swallowing a fellow servant, like, wouldn't work. Because, I don't know, it was trying to get to its core. Like, there's things I felt like weren't explained on that regard. So I'm thinking it must be in the other stories then. Like, it must be in Stay Night or whatever, like, this kind of thing must have been explained. I might be wrong. And I may just be an idiot. I may just be missing something. Like, is there some, like, maybe some quote that I missed in the past couple episodes? When, because I imagine it would have come from Gilgamesh, right? Gilgamesh would be the one that would have said it. Well, it's so odd, like, they refer to it as, like, a servant. don't understand. What? I mean, this is still like the equivalent of what the Lesser Grail would be, right? Like, that's what this is. It's not the fucking the greater one, right? I don't know. I just feel like it would be just like wrong of like, it just doesn't feel right to say that the lesser Grail is like an 8th servant. You know what I mean? I don't understand like why that would be the case. Yeah, I'm completely lost there. Totally lost. All right, well, let's get on to something else then. So yeah, Saber fucking destroys the fucking thing. She destroys it. Although there was obviously that one left that was able to grab fucking Gilgamesh and obviously pull him in. But yeah, I love the X. I love that thing that was left like as a sort of like an after image in the sky. I love that shit. That was awesome. It's always great when she uses Excalibur and that fucking music. Oh, so good. So yeah, she fucking Rin. Well, first of all, right, I want to point this out. I love the fact that she used 2 command spells to basically give. It's almost like giving more mana to Saber for a more powerful attack. I'm sure it was the same thing in Zero as well, right? I'm sure Kiritsugu used 2 command spells in Zero at the end when he was telling her to destroy the Grail. And yeah, Rin did it again here. So I like that. I like that, almost like the continuity of it. But then yeah, so fucking someone called out, and the first time I heard it, I was like, no, that's Archer. What? And then the arrows flew out, right? And I was like, that's fucking Archer. And I'm pretty sure he spoke again. Or he spoke just beforehand, and I was like, that does not sound like Archer. There's a line that he doesn't sound like Archer in. I don't know why. So in my head, I'm like, it can't be for it to be Tokyo Matt's ridiculous. But I'm thinking like, well, who has a connection to Rin, right? That's not Archer, because like in that one line, I'm like, it's Archer. It doesn't sound like him, so I'm like, right, well, who else then? Tokyomi. But then it's a bit much, isn't it? It's a bit much for Tokyomi to be the one. But then yeah, with the arrows, I'm like, well, that's the same fucking attack that I've seen Archer do a couple times. So, but then yeah, right. So Archer was back then for a bit. I can only assume somebody's wish came true for that. But then how long did Archer have left? Shit, now I'm thinking now. Shit, remember when... No, how did he get away though? Because I remember when Gilgamesh like attacked him, right? I was like, fuck, he got obliterated. Maybe he didn't get hit. Maybe he actually got away with it. But I don't know how he would have just disappeared. Could he have... Could he have gone like invisible, like, and you know, when... Maybe he could have. Because I'm pretty sure that he still had a day left, right? He still had a day left without having a master. Huh. So yeah, maybe that. Maybe he did just get away. Because I guess he could have, like, but I feel like Saber and that would know, because they can sense, right? They can sense when a servant is there, regardless of whether they're showing themselves or not, right? I don't know if Gilgamesh would be able to, though. I don't know if that's the case. Saber just might not have noticed because of, like, just the fact of what just happened, but so in the moment Archer could have used that to get away. With Gilgamesh not being like an actual servant anymore at that point, then it wouldn't surprise me if he wasn't able to sense Archer around. But it does seem weird now that I think about the fact that he was just obliterated. We didn't see him like disappear gradually. You know what I mean? So maybe that was the case. That's got to be it, right? It has to be, because then I would. Nah, it has to be that, because it's not going to be a wish, is it? Because if it was a wish, then why would he like immediately just, you know, after being back for like a few minutes, that he would just disappear anyway? You know what I mean? So it can't be a wish. Yeah, he must have just gotten away at that point. I love the Gilgamesh line about humanity as an animal that can't live without sacrifice, kind of thing. I love that line. Shiro having his inner monologue kind of thing, where we're seeing the visuals of like Unlimited Blade Works and whatever, and he comes out of it and he says that's all there is to it. So I'm guessing in that moment he figures out how to access it, right? Or he just sees in his head, it's like, no, it's not something I summon, it's not something I create, it's something that's already there. I summon. He doesn't create the swords, he summons it from his armory, right? That's what it is. Speaking of which, I said it in the reaction, I love the idea that in the real world he summons them from the reality marble, but while he's in the world, it's not summoned through portals like Gate to Babylon still is. It's like they're just like whatever sword, you know, he kind of calls upon or needs or whatever, it just sprouts up. Oh shit! It sprouts up out of the ground and fucking and flies. I love that. So yeah, that was cool. We had fucking Gilgamesh laughing. You know what I mean? Like, aside from just that, he was so animated. This whole like, it's just nuts seeing him like that, because he's so calm, cool, and collected. Because nothing to him, and I guess to me until this point, like Gilgamesh is one that's like, you know, he's so overpowered that he doesn't need to be animated for anything. He can just be like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. I'm so much more better than you. I don't need to overexert myself in any situation or whatever. But this whole time, yeah, he was laughing because of the fact that Shiro was like, nah, I can beat him. And Shiro being so sure of himself, Gilgamesh like just laughing because of that, and then getting angry because Shiro was actually giving him a good fight, and then eventually frustration because he realized that he was in trouble. When Shiro cut off his arm, you see in this, right, during the reaction, right, I said I'm so conflicted, because to me, as much as Gilgamesh is like a bad guy and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and whatever, for some reason, like, oh, that's the thing though. Is he bad though? Like, is he a bad guy? I think his sort of his mind, like his thought process about how he feels life should be, right? Talking about like everything, like in previous episodes about how slaves and stuff like still had a purpose, but so he still has like some like merit of, there's something there within him where he even sees value in the lives of slaves and stuff like that, right? Now, I'm not talking about like, you know, monetary value or the fact that they do stuff, but he sees them as having a purpose that even to that degree, he's still like, but in the time period that they're in now, he sees people as pretty much worthless, and it's like, to me, I'm thinking like his whole state of affairs are like, it's not him being truly just an evil guy, you know, like for the sake of being evil or whatever. I think his sort of like, his ideals and how the world should be run comes from a place of wanting humanity to be the best it can be. So I honestly, I almost don't see him as that bad, you know what I mean? I have a lot of respect for Gilgamesh, I do, you know what I mean? I said I was conflicted because I almost don't like seeing him in that position, even though, you know what I mean? It is nice seeing it because it's something new and it's a surprise, but I think what he said just before he got defeated, that he said, you know, his arm was chopped off, and the first thing he says was, "I'll give you this. At this moment, you are powerful." And I think it's that line says a lot, because I think it's mad to think that in that moment, nobody has ever managed to do this to Gilgamesh, right? And Gilgamesh still has like the wherewithal to acknowledge that in the face of defeat. Like, you know, I've seen so many bad guys in stories that don't do that. Their last words, or some of the last things they say is, how could I, like, you know what I mean, like, how could I lose, or like, you know, they give the protagonist or whoever it is that they're fighting like some, you know what I mean, they have one last word in to, like, you know what I mean, be a dick and be a bad guy, you know what I mean, say the last bad guy words. But Gilgamesh doesn't do that. He acknowledges his opponent. And then there's things in the past where, when he took out Ryder, and Waver basically had an order from Ryder, right, that he wouldn't avenge Ryder when he went and whatnot, and Gilgamesh give him respect for that, you know what I mean? So there's things where, like, I look at Gilgamesh and the way that he sort of sees things, and I can't look at them and be like, yeah, he's a bad guy, you know what I mean? I mean, right, he killed Elia. That one's a tough pill to swallow, and in a horrible way as well. I mean, he blinded her before he killed her, which I mean, was there any need for that? So he has the capabilities of that. I was told by patrons that after Zero, when he was covered in the fucking Grail juices, right, and all that shit, that because it comes from like, because it's like all cursed stuff, apparently that what it did was it actually drove him like to be like a sort of like a psychopath, or he got more evil because of it, right? And I guess in some regards I could see that, but I don't know to what degree, really, because I mean there's only some things, like, you know, like blinding Elia before killing her and shit like that. Like, you know, he's not the greatest guy, you know what I mean, but he has a code, and I think he's more respectable as a villain. Like, you know, he's not that kind of bad guy. I think he still has like some, you know, some semblance of doing the right thing for humanity. At least that's what he thinks, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's quite sad to see him go, but then again, I mean, I'm guessing he's going to be back in Heaven's Feel, right? Because they're just different routes. So I'm guessing I'll see him again. But, like, you know, in the continuation of a story, I had Zero and then UBW that comes straight after. So now I'm at a point, well, I guess there's the epilogue, right? But he's not going to return in the epilogue. But I guess I'm at a point where, like, it's kind of sad to see him in that state. Almost. And it's mad, because I've never felt this way for someone who was supposed to be a villain. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think through and be like, yeah, I'm sad to see him in this kind of way. But oh well, 'tis what it is, isn't it? But yeah, that was that was cool. Yeah, I get the only other thing that I wrote down was the malformed abomination grabbed the fucking it grabbed. I don't know. It grabbed the hole, right? It grabbed the portal thing, whatever the hell it was, right? It grabbed it, and then became a fucking a humanoid thing. I don't know what the fuck that was. But yeah, when it grabbed it, I'm guessing that at that point it had control over it. It almost summoned the hole elsewhere to where Gilgamesh was. I'm guessing. Yeah. There's a lot of things that like I said, I kind of don't kind of get some of the things, and I'm guessing those are details from the other routes, like, you know, why the cursed amalgamation, whatever the fuck it is a servant, or, you know what I mean? Gilgamesh calls it a fellow servant. Shit like that. I don't know. So yeah, let me know anyway in the comments. But yeah, that was all. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, links to certain things. Discord. If you want any information regarding my content or anything, go over there. Also, you can come talk to me in the community as well. SirMonkeySuit.com, my website, all my content is over there, so get yourself over there. And Patreon. So if you do want to support me, that would be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. $5 early access gives you access to shows a week early, and you would get, you would get 4 episodes of Fate if I wasn't coming up to the end now. So yeah, another show will take its place and get 4 episodes a week, so keep an eye out for that. Full length, $10 a month gives you access to my full length library. Everything I actually gets a full length. $15 a month, that is the exclusive tier, so that gives you access to a bonus show I'm currently reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. So if you're interested in that, get yourself over there, become an exclusive tier patron. $50, that is the elite tier. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go at the back of the list by about 7 shows. My team will get round to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want your show to be reacted to next, and you want to get God tier, which is $100. But that is all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.